Miss Martin Muses and Midweek Musings. Yes, it is finally hump day. I hope you so far have had a fantastic week and maybe even a better and more fantastic Advent. Thank you to all of you watching and that will be watching on the replay. I have today the secret to staying happy. Who would have known it was so simple? Who would have known it is so easy? I'm going to be putting my banner across the bottom so you can tell me what are your secrets to staying happy. But I do have one in particular. So, first of all, everyone coming in, tell me, how has your week been going? Please tell me how your week has been going and if you were freezing to death or not, because I have been seeing the weather and places are getting their freezes. Also, especially if you live in the future, I definitely want to hear how things are going because the future has been a little bit crazy and perhaps a little bit bleak. Look who it is. It is Gravy D. Hello, Gravy D. Oh, no. Well, Gravy D is saying, is it substances that you can get at a pharmacy? Because we only believe in getting things at the pharmacy that are prescribed by doctors. But the answer is no, actually. That is not the secret to happiness. It is actually. Okay, I'll give you the point. It is the secret to temporary happiness, but it can also lead you into a room full of people that will be greeting you with, "Hi, Teresa." So, yes, be careful with those. But yes, thank you for being here and thank you for your contribution to this day. Some people would say it's maybe sports until your referee messes up everything. I don't know. I've seen, I think, a lot more anger and rage from people that like sports than for others. Oh my goodness. Gravy D says, I figured never done things that came from outside the pharmacy. Yeah, I know. It was a good joke, actually, because I think I a little bit had that one coming. Whenever you start off something like this, oh, that's my automatic feeder is going off. I hope it is not too bad. My nephew programmed it to say, "Bitch, it's time to eat when the time comes." So that's what you might be hearing in the background. And if you can't, well, sorry about that. Now, one of these days I'm going to do a survey, but for the life of me, I have no idea how to do it. So I can't do a survey about what are your secrets to staying happy. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a bunch of comedians in the family. All right. Well, without further ado, oops, I was about ready to share my screen, and then I realized I had moved it up to the 12th Amendment to the Constitution, because that's what I'm going to be doing a video about. I'm going to be trying to bring back We the People Wednesday. But isn't that funny if I would say, I think for some, the secret to happiness is the 12th Amendment to the Constitution, and maybe even to Americans because it made the election process a lot easier. I can tell you what, though, there's just about nothing to do with an election that is the secret to happiness. All right, let me share this here so that everyone can see what the secret to happiness is, and it's not mine. I wish I'd have come up with it. I really do, because people would know me forever and I would be on tours. Here it is. Here it is. This is from Twin Peaks. It is a character, Special Agent Dale Cooper. Now, I have to give credit where credit's due. Steve has been a proponent of this and has been bringing this up. He says, every day, once a day, give yourself a present. Don't plan it. Don't wait for it. Just let it happen. It could be a new shirt. Sorry. at the men's store. I paused at the wrong place. It could be a new shirt at the men's store, a catnip in your office chair, or 2 cups of good, hot black coffee. Here's again. Every day, once a day, give yourself a present. So, in the case of Special Agent Dale Cooper, he says it could be a new shirt at the men's store. Maybe for him. I'm not into that kind of shopping. For me, it would be buying a new book. A catnip in your office, catnap in your office chair. Please don't get catnip in your office chair. My gosh. Catnap in your office chair. I would say nap. Who wants to have a nap in your office chair? Or 2 cups, not 1, of good hot black coffee. Okay, I would go with the coffee. Also, he says, don't plan it, don't wait for it, just let it happen. I'm not so sure I completely agree with that either. I have no problem with it being planned, like a pre-planned present. Nothing wrong with that. Gravy D is coming up with his. What does Gravy D say? Buying a retro game. Woo, I agree with that 1000%. Except that it gets expensive now. Yes, it can be. But if you go on, what is it, GOG, you can get some really good ones very, very cheap, or you can get them free online. Either of those are cool. But yes, I know a lot of people that love retro games. True, yes. Or even a new game, a game that you want. Going to see a movie in the cinema. Lately, they have been showing older movies because no one likes the new movies. Not so long ago, I went to the cinema to see the Boondock Saints in the cinema. It was the 20th or 25th anniversary, and I had so much fun. I had actually never seen it. So some were jealous that I got to see it for the first time in the cinema with a whole bunch of people laughing their butts off. And I loved it. Absolutely adored it. Gravity says, I'm more talking physical retro games. Oh, hell yes. That can get expensive. But aren't things like the boxes? They are so cool. Oh, cool. I love the Boondock Saints. Yes. It was so funny. I knew the premise. I knew people who liked it, but oh my gosh. I wasn't quite prepared for it. I knew it was going to be, let's just say, eccentric. But holy moly. All I got to say is the blasphemy kind of in it wasn't really blasphemous. Because the characters that were doing it were really quite sincere. Two of the things that got really big laughs in the cinema, and for me too, was one, RIP the cat. I love cats. Everyone knows that I'm a cat lady. But when the cat went to the great beyond and the way he did, and then the dude goes, "Is it dead?" I mean, I nearly died laughing. And then also the famous, as I know now, it was a firefight. Yes, tons of fun. Gravity says, laugh out loud and never saw it in theaters. I saw the sequel in there, though. Yeah. Well, the first one didn't have a release, a wide release, because nobody wanted to have it out since the certain incident in a school that rhymes with Amumbine had just come out. So they didn't want to be releasing a film with that level. Goodness knows what they would think of some of the other movies that have come out since then, but oh well. No one ever thinks about that. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, I see, lame. Yeah. It only made oh, I don't even know. It was just a ridiculous number. It still might not have been successful, but that is one way to not get successful, is to do that. I've already mentioned naps. I am a firm proponent of naps. Naps are not for children, they are for us. You will be a happier person if you take a siesta every day, if you can. Our schedules are not made to do that, but lately I have been able to. So when 2 o'clock kind of comes around, yeah, take a nap. Or if you don't go to sleep, take quiet time. Get some peace in there. It'll make you happy. Now, some people are like, oh, that's easy for you, Teresa. You don't have children, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what? That's true. Make the time. It used to be, I'm thinking back in Ireland and places, that there was time for mother where you didn't mess with mother. And looking back, I'm wondering if that was kind of mother's chance to stay sane. If the kids were old enough, it's like, listen, ma'am is in there and you leave her alone. Arrange that. Arrange that with your kids to look after the other kids, or arrange it with your husband. It's like, yes, maybe you've been working all day, whatever, but guess what? Mom has 30 minutes to herself, especially if she's had a gazillion children at home. You can work it out. And if you're married to someone that won't give you that time, well, what the hell are you doing married to someone so freaking selfish? But also vice versa. Then you need to give that time to your husband. Let him go into his man cave. Find that time. Maybe it's a bubble bath. Maybe it's a bubble bath. Everyone loves a bubble bath. I love naps, says Gravity. Yay, you see, he loves naps. It also gets you more rested just for the second part of the day. Back in the day, they used to have something called the second sleep, because people used to go to bed like early and then wake up late in the evening. I think it was around 11 or so, be up for a little bit and then go back to sleep. It was a weird thing. It was like a rhythm deal. Maybe one of these days I'll do a video on it because I think it's very fascinating to me. Hope I didn't tick off people with the talk about it. It's, even if you're married, well, you can. I'm not trying to be that a-hole. My parents did that. I never realized until I was grown up. But when we were living in America, Saturday morning meant we got to go to Dunkin' Donuts with Dad. And then we went to the supermarket. Yay, we get to go to the supermarket with Dad. I learned later, Mom and Dad had worked it out. That Saturday morning was mama time. Mama slept in. Mama did whatever she wanted to do Saturday morning. Understand she was a stay-at-home mom, 3 kids. She had us 3 in a row. So, yeah. Husbands can trade off like that. Some people, it's going bowling. Some is playing a video game. Yes, this is a secret to stay happy. Give yourself a present every day, once a day. I've heard a lot about how life was so tough in the past, and it was. It really was. We have first world problems. But there was some more happiness. And looking back in time, and also looking even when I was a kid, what was different in the past? Well, for one, they would be relaxed more. So this whole concept of not having breakfast, you just ran out the door with maybe toast in your mouth and zoomed through a commute and then got to work all day. Everybody doing this, including the kids, which It's absurd what we've done to kids nowadays. That's not the way it was supposed to be. It's like, okay, y'all get up, y'all a bit groggy, you come out, oh, look, there's coffee or tea, thing of milk, everyone sits down. They had breakfast. Breakfast would not take long, but you had to stop and eat and talk and be a human and then go off and do what you were going to do. So the first thing of the day was something relaxing. Now, when I was a kid, this was in Ireland again. It was like going back a little bit in a time machine. First of school started at 9. And you know what it ended? 2. They didn't have this deal where you stay in school for 10 hours a day. So, yeah, we would all get up, we'd all have breakfast together, we'd all go on our ways, and sometimes in a family, we would go our own ways, even the kids. Sometimes, I don't know, my bro wanted to take the bus, you could do that. I liked to ride my bike, or I would walk. Sometimes we'd go all together, sometimes we wouldn't, but somehow we all made it to school at 9 o'clock, and somehow at 2 o'clock, we all made it home. And then we did our homework and then out to play. You would have a snack when you got home too. And that's another thing. My personal secret to happiness every day, along with a pre-planned present, is afternoon tea. Similar to a snack, but it's a thing. Gravy D says, petting a cat or a dog. Oh, hell yes. They've even done studies nowadays that petting brings down your blood pressure. Yeah, so have a pet. If you can have a pet, have a pet. Like, I have a cat. I used to have 2. Right now, though, he's a bit annoying because he is trying to interfere with the computer. But yeah, pet a dog or a cat, or play with a dog or a cat. That's always great. Daily exercise is well, we used to be outside more and we used to exercise more. It is very possible in America to spend your entire day without doing any exercise, which is one of the reasons I think we have this obesity epidemic. And I'll tell you what, you want to end the childhood obesity epidemic, let's go back to where school started at 9 and ended at 2. Now, we all know the reasons why they won't do that because everyone wants it for free healthcare. But think about it. Take anybody and sit them on their asses for 10 hours a day. Yeah, guess what you're going to get? You're going to get fat. Oh, but we had PE and recess. Yeah. So for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, we're going to let them move a little bit. No, that's not the way the rhythm of our bodies is. Howdy, Dad Man Walking. What are your secrets to staying happy? I told everyone I found the secret, and this is it. Being slightly flippant, obviously, there's some higher things that can be the secret to happiness, but I'm talking more on the human level. But yes, what are your secrets to staying happy? Hi, it is Biggles Met. Well, Biggles Met is just happy all the time, no matter what. I think his secret to staying happy is the elimination of Snow White from Once Upon a Time. But please share what yours is. And what is giving yourself a present? Give yourself a present every day. Some people, women especially, well, why? No one ever gives me anything. Well, then give yourself something, okay? Biggles says, the secret to being Biggles is being Biggles. That is more profound than perhaps you believe. Remember what Dumbledore said about the Mirror of Erised? The happiest person in the world is someone who looks in the Mirror of Erised and sees himself exactly as he is. And hating Snow White. Yeah, I knew that was coming. Once upon a time, Snow White. I disagree slightly. I like her, but he has his prerogative. Oh, yes. Avoiding YouTube and Twitter drama. 1000%. You have to have a no tolerance for people that stir drama. We all know who they are. You can usually find it very quickly, very quickly, when you especially realize it's on purpose. We are now in December, going into January. This is the season of Twitter and YouTube drama, and it's fake. People come up with a fake fight, and it draws in people that thinks it's real. Don't fall for it. Now, I'm not saying that in your case, Dad Man Walking, it probably is real, but there are some usual suspects that no matter what, a big brouhaha breaks out in December and January. And the reason is because everyone is spending more money on Christmas presents, or they're recovering from buying Christmas presents. So they don't send as many super chats. But you stir up a big fight, people can't resist. And yes, it doesn't make you happy. I would put clickbait and rage bait and all of that in there. If you are finding that you are mad, if you are not enjoying yourself, and if you're agitated and you don't even know why, it's probably something to do with this. That best thing I did in my life after I'd gotten drawn into, despite everything that I had said, I got tricked into a Twitter trap. And it upset me because I really was thinking, oh, this is something that someone is doing in good faith. And nope, it wasn't. And all it was an interaction thread, but it was on purpose. And when that finally came out, I was like, that's it. I'm done. Now you will see me on X. You will see me posting things, but you will not see me interacting with any of these anythings, especially if it's anything controversial. You might see me wishing you a happy birthday or how are you doing? I hope you're doing okay. But beyond that, get rid of it. If you see something that makes you mad, it's probably rage bait. It's awful. Biggle says, she knows me so well. Yes, I do. Everyone's saying hello? Mm-hmm. Dadman Walking says, actually, the more I focus on pleasing myself than others but it is contrary to my nature of trying to help people and just wanting to do things with them. Precisely. Well, we learn. Don't be selfish. Be good-hearted. But that's not the secret to happiness. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not a good person, because naturally, when someone genuinely needs your help, then you will be there for them. But for the most part, these people are not seeking help. If people are doing something online, really, they're not seeking help. Because what truly happens if you need help? You go to the people that are near you, to your loved ones. So why do people feel like they have to do it on X or YouTube? It's because they want the attention. Now, this is there's an exception, and that is when sometimes people just need to vent. I've done one, like I did one last week when I got so mad at George R. R. Martin. What a jerk. But yes, I hear you. It's your nature to be helpful. And for the most part, online, do not help, especially if it has to do with YouTube, like helping someone grow their channel. That is something that will get you into disappointment. Now, I'm saying this as I know that so many people are here that have helped me with my channel. I'm not necessarily talking about that. I'm talking about being drawn into these little plans and schemes and little groups, and then everyone turns on each other. It's really nasty. Oh, Gravy D says he prefers Rachel Zegler, and Biggle says probably. Ouch. Oh, I've been going off so much I didn't see that we're kind of saying the same thing, Dad Man. Fake friends online don't help. The hardest lesson to learn. Yes, it's fake. Listen to your Aunt Teresa. I know that it's hard, but the vast majority of it is fake. That's not to say that many of it is not real. Thinking of people going, wait a second. Was she talking about me? Of course I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about out there. It's fake. It's full of trolls, people trying to waste your time, trying to waste your good energy because they think it's funny. And partly because it's funny is because they're sociopaths. There are a lot of sociopaths out there in these circles that we're in. But also there's a bunch of losers. And it's like they're doing some weird, I'm going to get revenge for all those guys that used to make fun of me in the locker room. They used to give me wedgies. And they find good-hearted, good people in these circles and just treat them like garbage. There's no such thing as good-hearted trolling. The only time that things works is if it's going both ways. If the other person is not finding it funny or participating, then it's not funny. It's bullying. I don't have X anymore, says Gravy D. It's been nice. Oh, well done. Well done. I use it mainly for news because I was very glad to have it during this election season. Dadman Walking says, I've interacted and the poster turned on me even though I clearly agreed with them. And you want to know why? Probably because they didn't want your genuine input. They were looking for engagement because even if you give negative engagement, that's what they need. There's no such thing as ratioing anymore. It used to be that ratioing was a thing, but not now, not with the new X. So yeah, they'll disagree with you and then they'll insult you. Oh gosh, I was so mad. I was so mad I was drawn into it, but I genuinely thought this person was being sincere. And suddenly you're finding yourself upset and this person just keeps going on and then you're responding and you're even looking at it. There we go. We've given them what they want. Yeah, I've interacted in poster even though I clearly agreed with them. Yeah, they do not want to agree. Nope. Gravy D says, revenge makes me happy. Biggles, everyone is always talking about me. George R. R. Martin is a wiener. Oh, yeah. I'm very mad at him. I got so excited, though, because I finally got to really hit him hard. Because, speaking of rage bait, people are trying to take advantage of people's goodwill, especially their love of Tolkien, by kind of creating this narrative about him and making it look like he's saying certain things he isn't. And so I've had to defend him. And I've said before that you got to defend somebody, even if you don't like them, if what people are saying isn't true. But last week, yes, I got to really hit him hard. I did not have to defend him. Finally, I did not have to defend him. Yeah. And it's about him not finishing his work. But, people keep trying to say, look how Tolkien's better. And even though Martin doesn't like it. And it's like Martin has said 1,000 times that Tolkien is not just a better writer than he is that he is a genius and he is the master. Written the best book of the 20th century. So, however, the person got 1 million interactions. But no, yes, I was able to let him have it. It felt so good. Secret to happiness. Have George R. R. Martin say again how he's not going to finish The Winds of Winter and just go off on him. That'll make you happy. Deadman Walking says, or they get what they want from you, then move on for whatever reason. Popularity or to be with the cooler people. Oh, you boy. So you've had that happen. Here's the way it works. People seek out people with slightly more subs than you. Let's say one person has 100 subs. I had at the time 400 subs. Oh my gosh, Teresa, oh, you're the smartest person in the world. Oh my gosh, I went, blah, blah, blah. We can talk about this. And it's like, wow, well, okay. Well, thank you. Sure, I'll come on your channel. Oh my gosh, I want to blah, blah, blah. Teresa, you're the greatest thing ever, blah, blah, blah. And then that same person, once they pass me, they get to 600 or so. Suddenly, okay, well, I'll keep Teresa around because she still has 400, but man, I'm getting really close to that 1,000. And then once they hit the 1,000, then it's like, oh, I'm kind of busy. I've got a full panel now. And then suddenly they start to invite people on with 5,000. And then it keeps going. So once the person reaches 5,000, then they invite people on with 10,000 and so forth and so forth and so forth. That's a strategy people actually use. And in many cases, it works, sort of. But if you really genuinely are not an interesting YouTuber, and part of it was because of your guests, and there's nothing wrong with people liking to come to your channel because of your guests, you won't grow. You'll actually stagnate because it was the people that were part of your chat, it was your rotating guests that you had that made people want to watch your channel. And they will notice if all of a sudden you dump everybody. They will notice and they will leave. And you cannot grow when that happens. So if there's any karma there, think about that. Because people know if someone has moved on to be with cooler people and they will not get support. I've seen it happen over and over again. Occasionally, they will. And that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But yeah, they get what they want from you, then move on. Sometimes they'll also, dad man, be careful if you have a big YouTuber on and they will suck up to you so hard and then be, hey, you think you could talk to so-and-so and have them on? And they think that that's the first time anyone's ever asked you that. That's one way to lose as well. It takes longer to grow your channel if you go the other route, but it will be more successful. It will be more steady. Yes, I know. Oh, wait. Everyone's talking about you. I've already said that. Revenge makes me happy. Yes, everyone loves revenge. Revenge makes you happy. Schadenfreude makes me happy. I let other people get revenge. There was a musician I worked with. It was so awesome. He was like an amazing musician, like one of those people that plays in cathedrals in Europe, goes on tours over there. And there was someone that was being a real jerk and a real upstart too, not even a great musician. And there were some underhanded things that happened. And there was really nothing we could do about it. But he said in a very strong accent, God's justice will come upon them. And I remember like getting, whoa, that was intense. And he was right. Now, whether it was God or whether it was just the consequences of their actions coming back on them, I think a little bit of both, if you will. The fall was hard because he'd been around enough to know when you see that. It was hard, the fall, and it was beautiful. So I got revenge and I didn't have to do a thing because the best revenge is to let an asshole get what he wants. Karma hits hard. Hello, everyone coming in. We have 12 watching. If you could please give me a like, a share, and a subscribe, I'd be very happy about that. Dadman Walking says, yeah, if you don't see the fake until they get bored, you don't see the fake until they get bored with you or want to get more attention from the popular people. Precisely. Precisely. Well, because if you are someone that is like affable, or someone that plays by the rules or any of that. Because that's not the way you roll, you don't imagine that that's the way other people do. Or you can get fooled for a little bit, but you'll know next time. You'll know because you'll see the pattern. And that doesn't mean that you can't be polite to people if they start sucking up to you or something. Of course you can. And you can be nice and you can be good to them. But don't get emotionally involved. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that there are about 4 or 5 people that over the last 6, 7 years, yeah, we've all stuck together. There's a reason for that. I mean, that we're still all friends and etc. But you need to be discerning. Maybe that's a better word for it. And Biggle says, wait, all my trolling is good hearted. I never actually want to hurt, genuine, just being silly. Yes. Yes. And your trolling is not mean spirited. I mean, the kind of trolling I'm talking about are people that are really nasty about it. That's different. Nah, you're just having fun. Dadman Walking says, hey, I've learned more every day to enjoy my independence and to stream and do what I want. Darn right. That's why I do what I do. Someone told me back in the day as my channel was crawling, you all know it took about 4 years for me to get monetized, and I was quite all right with that, but I was crawling. The individual was all, you need to look at what's trending and stream about that. And I looked about what was trending. It's like, I don't want to share about that. I can talk about Brie Larson and nothing against people that chose to, but that's just not interesting to me. Archer Colin is here. Yay! We have somebody from the future. Be sure to tell me what are your secrets to staying happy. He says, hey, Teresa, only just noticed you were on busy checking the character creation for Pathfinder. Yeah! Well, maybe that's what makes you happy. Yes. I bet you it's cold and wet over there in England. Everyone's saying hello. Dadman Walking says, Teresa is so nice and a real person, and I could never troll her even just. Aw, well, thank you. Well, teasing is probably a better word for the nice stuff. Dadman Walking says, I finally just apologized and said they didn't understand me correctly and moved on. Seemed to work for the moment, at least. Okay. Well, sometimes, yeah, you need to do that. It's like, sorry, blah, blah, blah. Sorry for the misunderstanding. And don't give them power over you. Especially don't let them make judgment upon you. If I were to give a tip, I would say never do it by text, because that's also a trap. If it's someone that you really feel like you need to sort something out with, get into a hangout. That's the only way to do it. Make sure you have witnesses as well. The cooler people like you keep me around. Yay! Dadman Walking says, oh, yeah, within the last year, after I was there, when they had gone through a few hard times, had to laugh about it. I have to laugh about it. Yeah. Softness not reciprocated. Archer Cullen says, the biggest irony of the Tolkien George R. R. Martin controversy is that Amazon wanted to make the Rings of Diversity more like Game of Thrones, but George R. R. Martin said that specifically the books were not Tolkienian. Yes, yeah. Well, again, that's the biggest irony. You can tell who is paying attention and who is not. I mean, George R. R. Martin has been the biggest defender of Tolkien. People take where he said some things he had wished to see in the books and take it completely out and say, look, he's calling them plot holes. It's like he never said plot holes. That's like me saying I wanted to see more with Eowyn and Faramir, of course. And then people saying Teresa hates Tolkien. It's like, no, that was the context. And there's a reason why you can only find a few quote unquote quotes. And they are quotes, sort of, because of that. But yes, that's a great point, Archer Cullen, that he is defending Tolkien against what the Rings of Power is doing to him. Yeah, that's the one that hates Tolkien and is jealous that Tolkien wrote better than he did. And it's like me when I keep saying that Beethoven was a better composer than I am. Understatement of the year, and people going, Teresa thinks she's better than Beethoven. It's like, no, I just said I wasn't. Bigglesmet says, I only dumped one person on my stream because they got in a fight on my stream and it pissed me off. Oh, yeah. No, don't be doing that. Yeah, that is a no. No point in doing that. It's like, if you want to fight, you go outside. I say that to people in real life and I say it on streams. Yeah. Really pissed me off. That's you. Thanks. DJ Play Nice is here. Miss Martin Muses, good afternoon. Can't stay, but wanted to say hi and give a good thumbs up the knife. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I hate jerks, says Gravy D. Yes, thank you. And let's see. Everyone's saying hello. Biggles Mets, even met him in Orlando. Oh, Biggles Mets is cool. Oh, yes, even met him in Orlando a few years ago. Yeah, so we love Biggles. Yeah, I remember. I'm going again in February. One of these days, I might do a meetup. I have reasons I don't go to those, but I'm glad that everyone that does has fun. Okay, I thought it was always warm there. No, not right now. It was cold when I went there. It's like, gee whiz, what's wrong with this planet? I had to put on 2 blankets when I went out on the balcony to read. Now that is a first world problem, and that is something else that is a secret of staying happy. If you do have a balcony, go out and read on it. Read every morning. I'm ripping that one off from Stieg too. Oops, we got an Amber Alert. Oh well. That always makes noise. I hate that. So, I want to share a little bit of what makes me staying happy and which is part of a mainstay in my life and should be in yours or maybe an equivalent of it. The idea of tea time. Now, back in the day, this was a thing and it still is in England, Ireland, etc. You can go to tea houses. Posh people do it. You'll see it on things like The Crown. You'll see it on Downton Abbey. You'll see it in all my Bonnet movies. But you need to make tea time. So, what is tea time? Well, for me, the way I do tea time is when it gets to be around 3 o'clock or so. Yeah, boil the kettle, make tea, get a tray, have a small snack with it. Could even be something sweet. American version, have a muffin, have all sorts of stuff. It's like, no, I'm not going to give you money. Sorry, Wikipedia, you're not going to get it. Cliff says, like the English teacher flying up. Yeah. But there's a grand history of it. And the concept of it applies to what we've been talking about giving yourself a present every day. It began to show up among the wealthy social classes in England in the 1840s. The ritual was invented by the 7th Duchess of Bedford, Anna Maria Russell, one of Queen Victoria's ladies in waiting. Due to increasing urbanization and industrialization, wealthy English people were having their evening meal later and later, but still eating lunch at midday. The Duchess became despondent at the void between the two meals and its constant sinking feeling, what one could describe as being hangry. She discovered what hangry meant. And think about it. The evening meal would be a lot earlier back in the day, but when you got industrialization and we're not longer going along with the rhythms of the day, you would find, hey, I'm eating at noon, but dang, I'm not eating till 6, 7 o'clock. She therefore asked that some tea, bread, and butter and cake be delivered to her room late in the afternoon, and an afternoon ritual was born. Dun, dun, dun. You see, everyone needs to do it. Sometimes we call it afternoon tea. And then after she invented the ritual, it says here, she started to invite her friends to join in. And then it became not just something among the upper classes, but for everybody. Yeah, and it says here in a memoir, Lake Rise to Candleford. Oh gosh, I love Lake Rise to Candleford, where a cottager prepares what she calls a visitor's tea for their landlady. The table was laid. There were the best tea things with a fat pink rose on the side of each cup. hearts of lettuce, thin bread and butter, and the crisp little cakes that had been baked in readiness that morning. Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. Yeah, so they can be scones. When you think of in England, you would find scones with cream, also little thin little sandwiches with cucumbers. Oh my gosh, smoked salmon, things with smoked salmon that's also became a part of it. When I was on a cruise recently, they had afternoon tea and they had all of that. It's so nice, and it keeps you going, and it keeps you from overeating, believe it or not. Why? Because it is a set time, it's finite, and you're not, like, eating, like, just snacking, just grabbing food because you are hungry mid-afternoon. So, you sit down, you drink your tea, you have your little snack, and then it tides you over until dinner time. "I'm getting hungry," says Gravy D, yes. There's a really nice tea house in Ireland at Patrick's Street off the little side. I always go there for tea, afternoon tea. Oh my gosh, it's so good. You can do high tea at fancy hotels in, like, Dublin, I've done that before, and in London, and yeah, you get all dressed up, and it's all served by people in tuxedos. It's like a true Downton Abbey moment. It's great. Alright. Now they do say here some more specific details of what your afternoon tea will be. Afternoon tea is a light meal typically eaten between 3:50 and 5 p.m. Traditionally, it consisted of thinly sliced bread and butter, delicate sandwiches, customarily cucumber sandwiches or egg and cress sandwiches. I would add no, have little lettuce sandwiches or smoked salmon, and usually cakes and pastries, such as Battenberg cake or Victoria sponge. Scones with scones with clotted cream and jam would also be served, as they are for cream tea. The sandwiches are usually crustless, cut into small segments, either as triangles or fingers, and pressed thin. Biscuits are not usually served. Biscuits can be a part of it. Like if you would have afternoon tea, I remember in Ireland where just a casual thing, they would bring out digestives. Here's a picture of what you might find with your afternoon tea. Look at that. Good times. Here's a tea tray, an afternoon tea tray where they come around. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Now look at this fancy stuff. Kind of went all out. And there it is with the jam and the butter and the cream, and that's the way I like it. Oh, good times. So if I were to say the secret to staying happy, the secret to staying happy is to have afternoon tea. But as we saw with the special agent Dale Cooper, it's the present you give yourself every day. Digestives. Oh, yes. Biscuits as in cookies. Yes. Yes, called digestives in it, it's like a form of a it's like a cookie, but it's not a cookie. I don't know if Archer is still here, if he could describe for us what digestives are. But it's a specific name. Where's the meat? Sorry, Southern US man and me coming out. Yes. Well, the protein you get with the salmon, but it's really not like to fill you up. It's just to tide you over. Just to tide you over. We have Josh XIZ. I had crisp with my triangle sandwiches when I was younger and a Bywell tart afterwards. Oh, there you go. Yes, so you know what I'm talking about. Yes. Bakewell. Oh, okay. Everyone's saying hello. Yeah. And remember, we were all eating things like, as you say, crisps. We were eating clotted cream and all that, and people weren't fat. Because if you had at rituals at set times, it was healthier. It wasn't what you were eating, it's how you eat. Oh, here we go. Archer calling. I summoned the Brit and we got one. Archer Collins says, I think digestives were originally designed to literally age digestion. Yeah, that's where the name came from. And then they found out, ooh, these are kind of good. I always like to have them with tea. We can get them here in America if you go like to the international aisle. And then he goes, and they can come with chocolate covering. Hell yes, they can. Oh my gosh, yes. It's so good. And when you are freezing, maybe I'm thinking of me. You're a kid walking home from school and it's raining because it's Ireland and it's raining and it's cold and it's windy. And you get in and you have some tea with a digestive. Oh my gosh, it's heaven on earth. And now we're talking. Yeah, now we're talking. Gravy says, I guess I could get rid of snacking and do tea. I'll give it a try. Yeah, there you go. And if you don't like tea, you don't have to have tea. Yeah. Set a time around 3:00, but they say 3 to 5 and see how that works. We do have something we do have an equivalent here in America with kids where they have a snack when they get home from school. That's a good way to do things if they have a snack though, if you because of the way the schedule is nowadays, it's always just eating on the go, even eating dinner on the way home with McDonald's and stuff. But yeah, you would just have a little pick me up. I remember when I taught in daycare back when I was in college, when the kids would wake up from their nap, yeah, they'd have a little glass of milk and they would have a small little snack, like maybe some peanut butter crackers or something. Let me see if I can bring up a picture of digestives. Here they are. Oh, yeah, you can get them on Amazon. Let's see. Yeah, McVitie's. Yeah, so everyone Google them. I hate the way they do things here on the YouTubes. Go away. You are a jerk. Let's see. Is it doxing me? It is not doxing me. So I'm going to share it. I'm going to share my screen here. McVitie's original. There you go. So these are a way to also do your afternoon tea. Now the trick is though, only have one, maybe two. They're dangerous though because they are addictive. Don't have hot tea. Yep, I could do coffee. Yep, darn right. Yeah, some people don't like tea. I do. I happen to be a nice tea drinker. Everyone's saying hello. Archer Collins says, I'm a rather odd Englishman. I don't like tea and much prefer coffee. Hey, it's a free country. We will not hold judgment upon you, though your fellow English people, or rather, I keep forgetting if you're English or Welsh. Your fellow British people will not. Archer Collins says, I may have been known to put butter or butter substitute on digestive biscuits or even rich tea. Wow. Hey, isn't that what they do with the keto stuff? Maybe you were keto before keto was keto. That's where a stick of butter is a snack. Interesting. Yes. The US is a free country, not sure about England. I don't know. I've been seeing some stuff going on over there that really worries me. Really worries me. I mean, not that we're doing so great over here, but at least we're going in the right direction. Ugh. Yeah, I pray for y'all. Archer Collins says, then again, we didn't really have either way back in the 14th century. That's true. You were lucky if you got any food, let alone if you had time for afternoon tea. I think that's why originally it was something that the upper class did. I won't start the great sweet, unsweet tea debate, LOL. Oh boy. Yeah. Well, any self respecting Southerner will have only sweet tea. Free we are definitely not, says Archer Cullen. Yeah. We all probably know what we're talking about when we say this. It is insane. But we did have mead. That is true. Also, people were more social with each other. You literally would not be able to be by yourself. You would probably die. Yeah, so if you were alone, for example, if you were a bachelor, you wouldn't just sit at home all day like, what am I in the evening? What am I going to do? No, you'd go hang out with the gents at the pub. I hope you still are able to do that in England. But that was a thing in the past. Or women, well, it's a little trickier for women, but we did have spaces. Well, for one thing, tea houses and sewing circles. This whole idea of being alone and food being something to be alone with. No, it was meant to be something social. Oh, and I need to check. I'm getting a text from my sister. What does she say? Actually, I'm not going to say what she said. Oh, yeah, we are going to see Wicked. Now, I know people have opinions about it because of how weird the stars are, but all Broadway people are weird and I don't like them anyways. But Wicked, I do love the musical, so I'm going to be going to see it and seeing if it's any good. Deadman Walking says, I just noticed a Santa hat on top of the rose. Very nice. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much. Archer Khan says, there were a lot less of us back then, especially after 1350. Darn right. Well, yeah, that's, I guess, one way to solve an obesity epidemic. Everyone just goes to the great beyond. Plagues suck. I mean, in many ways, we are healthier than we have ever been. Healthier than we have ever been. It just occurred to me, one of these days I'm going to be able to do a stream without mentioning George R. R. Martin, but today is not that day. The secret to staying happy is to not fall for rage bait. Oh yeah, that's how we got into it, because I was talking about rage bait. And sometimes it'll even be rage bait about situations that are worthy of being rage about. But if that's all you see all day, it makes you crazy. And if some of these people can't find things for you to be raged about, they'll find things from the past. So yeah, don't be enraged. Be happy and have tea. Have afternoon tea. Gravy says, never seen the musical or movie of Wicked. If I had to, I'd rather go to the musical. I would agree with you. Nothing ever beats the live version. For certain. So I'm going to see what it's all about. I think that the most annoying part of it is that it's 2 parts. I mean, that is so cheap. That is so cheap. It's like, just do the whole movie, for crying out loud. But yeah, I'm going to see it and hopefully enjoy it. I don't know. If I had anything in my life, if I had one wish over something petty, like something that's not like solve world poverty or something, it would be that Hollywood people just keep their mouth shut. Just shut up. Because that can take away from the magic of it. And I might have gone to see the movie sooner. I might have seen it sooner if it wasn't that weirdo talking mean things, bullying a fan. My gosh. Archer Collins says, Miss Martin Muses, I have heard a number of people who found Wicked quite good. Mainly fans of the musical, to be fair, and also a skeleton crew, although I understand that only lasts 2 episodes. Yeah. I've heard, objectively speaking, skeleton crew is good if you completely forget that it's supposed to be Star Wars. The problem with Star Wars, rather, let me rephrase that. The problem with Disney Star Wars is that it will never be good because all roads lead to Jake. So it can't objectively be good. But you can enjoy it if you forget it's Star Wars. Me? Nope. Not gonna do it because I cannot enjoy it. No siree. Never. And they always trick you anyways eventually. There's the pattern where we have certain TV shows where season 1 is usually pretty good, like, not woke, not any of that stuff, and then, well, season 2 is when they bring it all out. The bad storytelling and all of those aspects. That's what happened with House of the Dragon. Though there were some woke aspects of it, it was still good entertainment. People will watch things that are a little bit woke if it's good entertainment because that's the way it's always been. All right. But man, people will not forgive you for bad storytelling. Season 2 was awful. They did it with The Witcher. First season good, second season, then they went off the rails. And I love the fact that Henry Cavill got out of there. He got out of there. He wasn't going to have it. He's a real fan. He's a real nerd, and we love him. And now he's doing his own thing, the Warhammer, and it looks like he's really keeping a tight control over it, and then that might make it good. Yeah, Wheel of Time didn't count because it's first season sucked. But be aware. Be aware of good first seasons. Part of me wonders if Wicked, if they're going to do for the second part, they're going to diverge from the whole script and make it Orange Man bad or something. Wouldn't that be wild if they do the equivalent of that for Wicked? Oh my gosh. But we'll see. Deadman Walking says, all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. I don't know where that originated, but it's absolutely the truth with me. I'm like Padme in Return of the Sith. Anakin, you're taking a path I can't go. Won't even talk Han. Oh gosh, no. You're breaking my heart. Yeah. Though the real breaking of my heart happened when they abandoned the canon, when they abandoned the EU. That's something that breaks your heart. I always had a premonition that it wasn't going to be good, but like a fool, I thought maybe we'll get to see some decent Luke Skywalker. Boy, were we dumb. Or was I dumb, rather? Archer Collins says, I think it was actually Mark Hamill who came up with Jake Skywalker. That is true. He is the one that came up with Jake Skywalker. It was in an interview. But the whole all roads lead to Jake Skywalker, I think it kind of came up organically, if I understand correctly. Very nice, Padme. Yeah. Yeah, we don't like Padme. I hate Padme. I really do. She deserved everything she got. She gave up the will to live. What a selfish hag. Couldn't live for her own kid. Dadman Walking says, yes, but a streamer somewhere stated the all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. Yeah, probably. It'd just be interesting to see when it was first done. I agree with that. Like, where do these things originate from? Same thing with memes. Archer Khan says, oh, I have no problem with abandoning the EU. Wait, you're talking about the expanded universe. Yes. Oh, good one. Good one. Yeah, the European Union sucks. But yes, the expanded universe. Abandon the EU, says Gravy D, but then steal from it. Yeah, just like cherry pick. Ugh. And taking the often the worst parts of the EU. I mean, what a mess. What a mess. If they had adapted parts of the EU for the sequel trilogy, oh my gosh, it would have been perfect. I know where this came from because Ryan Kinnell said it. He said, if they used the story from Fate of the Jedi, because Han, Luke, and Leia and all of them would have been the correct ages and had the whole Jaina and Jason solo thing, holy crap, wouldn't that have been great? They could have done it, but they didn't. And they would have had their woman lead for crying out loud. But no, they wanted to make Han and Leia not live happily ever after. They wanted to ruin Luke. So if they'd have done Fate of the Jedi, they couldn't have done that. Oh, no, or was it Legacy of the Force? I think it was Legacy of the Force. My fault. Thanks, Mrs. Mutants. Wait, whatever the hell my name is, says Deadman Walking. You've now encouraged me to do things I'm avoiding as I'm listening. Hey, well, there you go. So if that's what helps as well. I do what it takes to get done what I need to get done. I start off my day with a cup of coffee, and I go over a "What the F am I doing" list. It's actually something I bought on Amazon. I found it in Barnes& and Noble for the first time and then found out I could get more. That's how I keep track of things. Darn right. Archer Collins says, although ironically, the EU, the political one, may actually be going in a better direction than we are now. Interesting. Yeah. A lot of England stuff, it was like they ramped things up. My opinion is that the something that rhymes with meep hate been the ones to punish England for the vote, rather Britain for the vote to leave the EU. EU has not been good for Ireland. No. Jana Solo says Dadman Walking is the most naturally developed, strong female character ever. Precisely. They had it. They had it right there. And they threw it away with both hands. So I don't care if things are a failure. On the other hand, is it a failure? Is it really? What are the ratings on Skeleton Crew? I mean, people we know are watching it. So yeah, it's doing fine. I, however, will not be one of those A-dash holes that sits around and is mean to people for watching it. Maybe get a little frustrated. I think sometimes people feel that because they're like, hey, if you wanted to get better, or, we've wanted not to give them the support, so don't be watching it. There's one thing to be frustrated. It's another thing to be awful. Dadman Walking says, thanks for clarified. I had terrified I'd type mutant in your name. Oh, yeah, sometimes I don't speak very well. Maybe I'm a Miss Martin mutant. Yes, that's me. I'm a mutant. I wonder what my superpower is. But wait, says Dadman Walking, we had no comments or an original source material to build from. Oh gosh, now we're going to be getting into a rage. That is not the secret to staying happy. That has to do with the whole anger thing. Yeah, they lied, they lied, they lied, they lied, they lied, lied, and then they lied some more. Never believe what anyone in Hollywood says because they lie. They lie. But also don't tie your happiness to it. I think for a while there were some individuals that were really, really hoping it was going to get better and that maybe if we support the good Disney Star Wars, then the rest of it will follow. No, it won't. They don't care. They're parasites. Dadman Walking says, yeah, I encourage people if they like what they like. I just can't and I will be open about it. But also they're encouraged to say if they like it because I don't want to be an echo chamber. Yeah. Well, let people be. For crying out loud. Part of my philosophy about that, Dadman, is, okay, we're not talking about the meaning of life. You're not talking necessarily about your wife, your family, your kids, your loved ones, your dog. You're not talking about Jesus, for crying out loud. I think some people have made Star Wars into their religion. And it's like, listen, you can be morally ambiguous on Star Wars, okay? That's not the same as other more important things in real life. And I know it's ironic because I am such a strong proponent of entertainment and everything that we can get out of entertainment. I believe stories are magnificent. I think they're almost a form of sacred. They're myths. The great myths. They're great. But at the end of the day, it's still just Star Wars, isn't it? Are you going to take that with you? No. It is in many ways just a story. It's not worth losing your peace over, and it's not worth losing your soul over. I was about ready to say something, but maybe I'll save that for Catholic explaining, because J.R. Tolkien had a lot to say about that in his On Fairy Tales and other things about these stories and the power that they have. But then there's the one that's the most powerful. One could argue the greatest story ever told. That's a myth, but it's true. It's the true myth. That's what helped C.S. Lewis get over some of his intellectual issues with Christianity, and he became a Christian. Speaking of which, did you see how we're learning more about what's been going on with this new Lion Witch in the Wardrobe, or I don't even know if it's Lion Witch in the Wardrobe. They haven't said what they're adapting for these Chronicles of Narnia stuff, and that's going to be more rock and roll and really different. It's like, wow, here we go. Here we go. Get ready for C.S. Lewis to be butchered. It's going to be bad. What I think is funny, though, is that everyone knows that Lion, Witch, and Wardrobe, or rather the Chronicles of Narnia, are Christian metaphors, or rather not even metaphors. It's an allegory, literally. And to try to change that up and not make it that way, it's almost kind of ridiculous. Even Screen Rant didn't know what to say. They're like, there was a confounding comment. They were confounded because it was asinine. Deadman Walking says it's all about perspective and proper priorities. You've said it just right. Yeah. Now college football. I will fight. Oh, yeah. I should have put sports in that as well. But yeah, sports is serious stuff. Take care. Have everyone have a good one. Oh my gosh, it's Salty Traveling Sea. Hello, Salty Traveling Sea. What does he say? Listen, Teresa, dropping the deep knowledge. Oh, why thank you. I try. Sometimes. Deadman Walking says, yes, the true Christmas story is of utmost importance and a hill to leave it all on. Yeah, darn right. For the 6 pound, 8 ounce baby Jesus, absolutely. For Star Wars, come on, people. Come on. That doesn't mean that you can't defend it. Just don't lose your soul over it. Josh says, I love Pan's Labyrinth. Speaking of fairy tales, fantasy. Yeah. Well, fairy tales are magnificent. Partly it was Disney's fault and some other aspects that made people think that fairy tales were for children. Part of that, when you look at the history, is that these were the tales of the people, and then you would get nannies and nurses. Back then, nurses was like a wet nurse. And so what would they tell the kids? Oh, what story do I know? Oh, yeah, let me tell you about Snow White. And so it became, unfortunately, associated with children. Fairy tales are not children's tales. They're magnificent, magnificent literature. And maybe I'll be doing some more videos about that. I do have a few. I think it's under my lore playlist where I talk about Beauty and the Beast particularly, and I think a few others. And I do have some Snow White coming up based on some essays I've previously published. Okay, I think I've gotten everyone here. Let me see. What is my... She says we're leaving after they fed the animals, but I don't know when they feed animals. They have a dog. Alrighty, so I am going to have to wrap this up. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with me on these midweek's musings. I would really encourage people to try something like afternoon tea. If that's not your cup of tea, something similar. But remember what Special Agent Dale Cooper said, give yourself a present every day. Find it. And it's got to be something you want to do. It doesn't count as a present if it's something someone else wants to do. It can be something you buy, or it can be something that you just enjoy. But remember what Augustus McCrae said in Lonesome Dove. If you only want one thing in life, you're bound to be disappointed when you get it. The secret to staying happy is to focus on the little things. And maybe that's what the people in the past knew. Good night, all. Oh, yes. I get cold just thinking about you, Archer Collins, rather not thinking about you, but thinking about where you are. All you people in England and Ireland and up there in Norway. Gosh, it's cold over there. It's getting chilly here, and my cat's acting like he's dying. So I can only imagine. I think rain. I remember the rain and fighting the rain and the wind, and you have this little umbrella and just got torn up by the wind, never did any good. But I digress. Have a great day, everyone. I am sorry. I always end with saying thank you because I am nothing without all of you. So here we go, kids. Let's see. Thank you, Biggles, Mets, Dadman Walking, Salty Traveling Sea, Josh XIZ, Archer Collin, my gosh, I got another text. Everyone's opening up their Christmas presents early. because I send them to him, and I've been getting all these thank yous. Gravy D, thank you, Gravy D. You've given some great participation. Everyone has. We have also who popped in to say hi. I think it was DJ Play Nice. Yes, it was. Thank you very much for popping in, Gravy D. I think I got everyone. If I did miss anyone, it was not intentional. It's something that things happen. Josh says, thanks for the stream. CYA. Yep. I'll see y'all. Have a great day. Great stream. Thank you. And now that I'm not going to be working until Friday, maybe I'll be able to start them usually. Concerts are crazy, but you get so much good money. That's the great thing about Christmas. Thank you, Miss Smart Muse. There's a lot of great stuff. Well, thank you. And hang in there. Don't let the bastards get you down. That's from Jock Ewing from Dallas. My dad used to tell it to me all the time. I already said, oh, wait, have a great day. Have a great day. And be certain to give yourself a present every day.